Now to an ABC15 follow-up, immigration continues to be a hot topic in the 2024 election, not just here in Arizona, but really across the country. In February, Scripps News sent a team of journalists, including myself, to towns across our southern border to get the real story of what's happening. So this morning, I decided to follow up. I recently hosted a panel discussion with stakeholders and voters from across the state to find out how we can begin to tackle the issues. Who's not doing their job when it comes to immigration?
I worked in Tucson Police Department for 20 years, and over that time, I mean, there was 4, maybe 5 administrations that I worked for, and there was Democratic controlled administrations and there was Republican controlled, and neither political party fixed it.
Congress just couldn't get it done. So what's the issue?
Politics and rhetoric gets in the way of progress. When immigration reform is addressed, I think we need to look at the needs of this nation. Obviously, we have a labor shortage that can be filled by legalizing all of the workers. We have people that have been living here for decades. If we legalize them, we will broaden our tax base, we will grow our economy, we will create jobs by legalizing them.
I always say you can put a man on the moon, but we can't get this comprehensive immigration. It's insane. It really is. But I think if they come together, there's a lot of ways to make this work.
How do you balance accepting and welcoming the people who pass background checks and clearances and don't have records and want to be here to have their own version of the American dream, but then also balance that piece of keeping our border secure?
Well, it's very simple. We need an orderly system so that we can vet people that come in. Without this system, and this is why people are coming in the way that they are, because we don't have an orderly system where people can be vetted, because everybody wants a safe community. Even immigrants that are undocumented want safe communities.
Some of these immigrants that are using the cartels and paying them to come up, again, to live the American dream and look to have a job with a good wage, they have to pay off their debt. And so they're being taken all over this country where the cartels have apartment complexes rented out. I can tell you in Tucson, I've busted stash houses before when I was a police officer. So they go there and they give them these jobs and they don't pay them a minimum wage, and then that money is basically funneled back to the cartels to pay off their debt. And it's this revolving indentured servitude that has an issue.
And I will say that it's a matter of dignifying salaries, giving people the dignity they deserve, to pay them well.
And then my other point that I just think we need to make sure we hit on, it's the safety of our country, right? And so we've all heard about fentanyl right now over the last 4 years, 6 years, and how it's killing, overdoses over 100,000 every year. That is being brought in through the southern border.
We need to stop the cartels, the human smuggling. But the asylum seekers are fundamentally different. I mean, they're coming here to seek our protection, and something that this country has honored for basically its whole entire existence.
When I applied for my green card, I was asked a series of questions. I went through screenings and backgrounds to make sure that I was a law-abiding individual. And so we do have systems in place to make sure that we are keeping the country safe. And there's ways that we can make solutions that are comprehensive, that don't have to wait on a huge federal reform.
I was born in Douglas, Arizona, would go back often as a kid, and now I go down there and there's 3 chain link fences, there's unmanned aerial vehicles, there's billions of dollars. We've never spent more money on border than we are doing today. And everybody keeps saying, well, we need to secure the border to get immigration reform. Yet there's no statistics, there's no numbers, there's no qualifying data that we can get to where someone's going to say, the border's secure, now we can have immigration reform. We need to think about it completely separate.
That really fascinating, eye-opening conversation. I want to thank our terrific panelists again. The conversation not over yet. Tomorrow you're going to see the third and final part of my discussion. See what our panelists' message is to Congress and other elected leaders.